Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everybody. I want you to visualize this for a moment. You being an empty canvas, and you're holding the brush, and you can paint whatever you want for your life, how you want your life to go, what you want in your life, whether it's the perfect person, abundance, sports car, whatever it might be, better job. You are in control of that. You have the choice with that paintbrush. I want to add sunshine. I want to add a palm tree. That's what would be on my canvas, but you're in control of that. Sometimes you need a little help along with that, and that's where effective life coaching comes in. That's what she offers, but radically more. She's a certified life coach. She's also a clarity catalyst instructor. I've never heard that term before. Can't wait to dig into that and help you change your life. Ghada, Elias joins us here on the program today. Welcome. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Steve?
Very well. Very well. And I've talked to life coaches before, and there's many great ones out there. You take it steps deeper because you harness mindfulness, which is so important, and we'll get to that. But what exactly is a clarity catalyst instructor?
Well, the Clarity Catalyst is a program. It's based on Stanford. I'm sorry, my brain's going blank. It's a Stanford master program. It focuses on emotional intelligence, mindfulness, and it helps a person live life aligned with their own values. It changed my life. It transformed the way I am. I did life coaching for 2 years. It was awesome. I loved it. But then when I took the Clarity course, it was just like the gem of the whole thing.
It's the word clarity is so important.
Yes.
And in my life, that word so far this year has come up many different times. One of them, I joined a men's group, and very impactful. And it's about leadership and community service and bettering yourself. But there's been many times where I've said, we need clarity on what we're talking about here because things weren't clear. And I believe that's probably the way it is for a lot of our lives. You know, we just continue going, but it's kind of in a fog. We don't have that clear picture of where we are, where we're going. And the word catalyst, I mean, it says it all there. You're moving forward. So it seems like the perfect blend.
If anybody wants to learn more about it, there's a website called claritycatalyst.net.
Gotcha.
You'll get all the information from that site. And we are trained to be trainers. So I took it first. I learned the course and I'm like, this is the best. So I was trained to be a trainer in it.
So with the being a Clarity Catalyst instructor, do you blend that with life coaching, or is that something that's somewhat different?
It depends. So if someone wants to do is signing up for life coaching, I do use some of the tools that in Clarity Catalyst, because it's all about us. It's all about the individual, of how to realize how we judge ourselves, how to breathe, how to live life with no expectations. What's your value? Well, like, what kind of values do you have in life, and how do you align your life with your values, and what's your purpose? So it all, like, when you mix it together, it's so powerful.
Let's focus on that word values. Give me a couple of examples. You know, we hear that word. I feel that a lot of us don't know what our core values are.
So I'm going to share my core values. Okay, because that's like the best example I can give.
Sure.
I live life through my faith and my courage. Those are my two values, and that's how I live my life. And when I say faith, I don't mean the religion I was born in. I'm Catholic. Sure. Faith is what kept me on my feet through my life, is what I lean on today when I'm struggling with something.
Would you
And
say faith is spirituality? Would you say the same
it
thing?
can, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Faith is different for every person, and spirituality is different for every person. So I'm not talking about my religion. I'm just talking about me believing in my religion, but through life experience. Does it make sense?
It does. And it's interesting
It's
when you look at the word faith.
it.
Again, people do connect it to religion. Same thing with the
Yeah.
word spiritual or spirituality.
Yes.
But when you look at the word faith, it can also be faith in yourself. How many of
Exactly.
us don't have faith in ourselves?
Yeah.
We don't realize the resilience that we have overcoming challenges. But faith can go in many different ways. And as I understand it and try to practice it, spirituality is believing in something that is bigger than what you
Bigger.
are,
Mm-hmm.
bigger than what you are. And that could be anything. You know, if you want to connect it to a God, religion, okay, great. If you want to just think that there's a universe out there that supports us, bigger than me or you, and that feels good for you, then fantastic, whatever it might be. But I've often heard that you have to have that faith in something like
Yeah.
that if you really truly want to move your life forward.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I do have a story. Can I share it?
I would love it.
If that's okay?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm a mom. I have two kids with special needs. This is a story about my son when he got diagnosed with autism. I'll make it quick. It was his third birthday. We finally got into the developmental pediatrician. Now, if I'm talking too fast, I do have a slight accent. Just tell me to slow down. I will slow down.
Listen, you're the queen of clarity.
Thank you.
And everything is perfectly clear.
Thank you.
I'm not even hearing an accent. I'm hearing every word you're saying. So
Good.
don't
Cool.
even give that a thought.
Okay, good. So we're there. The doctor walks in and she asked me all the questions that a developmental pediatrician asks. And at the end, she goes to me, "I'm sorry to tell you, your son has autism." I just looked at her and I'm like, okay. I had no idea what autism was back then. Okay. To me, I was fighting the unknown with my kids, but now there's a name to this unknown. So now I know what my kind of like the enemy is. It's not really an enemy, it's just a label. Anyway, fast forward. And I did ask her, okay, is there anything I need to get him other than what I've been doing? She said no. We leave. Now, fast forward on his third appointment. We're there, same thing. She walks in, asks me same questions. Now, I didn't have anything to tell her that my son made any progress that day. In the back of my head, I didn't see a light for my son. Now, I'm a very realistic person. It is what it is. Before we left, she looked at me and said, "I am sorry to tell you, but I don't feel that your son is gonna improve any like more. Like there's gonna be a big improvement for your son." I didn't say a word. Like I didn't respond to that. I just like her words were kind of confirming what was in my head.
Hmm.
So I walked out of there, got in the elevator, and this is where I say that we do have a choice. And I said to myself, she's a human. She doesn't know. Now, mind you, I stayed with her. I love that doctor. Okay. But in the elevator, I just said to myself, she's a human. She doesn't know. I am not going to have her words confirm what I'm thinking. And I'm not going to take her words. And then I started praying. And I walked out of there with this, that I am going to face this. That was my choice. And this is where my faith came in and I felt stronger. It was just, it's the way we take words. If we wear these words, if we allow them to become our destiny or not.
Yep. Yep. And you could have taken those words and
Yes.
piloted your life by, all right, he's not going to improve. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah,
Wow. And
that's,
how's he doing today?
oh my gosh. If you see him, he's 21 years old now. He, I cannot be more proud of both of my kids. My daughter, she's in college. She was also Asperger, did not think she would make it to college. She's an artist. She's doing glass blowing. I just love it. I'm so proud of her. And my dear son, he's a hacker. He hacks into things. I'm writing a
Oh,
book about him. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. This kid is.
you know what? There is a need for that to
You think
show.
so?
I do, to show how things are not as secure as we think they may be.
I always say this. The FBI is going to show up at my door one day and I'm going to get arrested, and it's because of my son.
And then he can hack into the FBI site and show them.
Okay, let's not broadcast. Let's not.
It's whatever you want to believe. And
Yeah.
I'll be transparent
True.
here. I rarely get sick. Decades, I'm never nothing. And about 3 weeks ago, I came down with something. I know where I got it from. I was with a coworker. He was coughing, had a fever, all of that. I lost my voice. First time I've been doing radio since I was 17. Never really had an issue. I go to the ENT, does the full scope and everything. He's like, well, you have some challenges there. I said, in a scale of 1 to 10, what are we looking at? He goes, you're a 6 on a 10 scale, 10 being big problem. He goes, you may need
Dear.
to go get vocal training. You could have some, you may not
Mhm.
speak, you may not speak again. Got it. That was 8 days ago. I'm fine.
That's
I'm
true.
talking. Everything's great. So if I would have taken those words
Yeah.
and, went down that rabbit hole of woe's me, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I took it easy, didn't talk a lot. And, I'm about 90% there. But I had no idea a virus can affect your vocal cords. Plus, I was coughing because I thought that's what I should be doing. And that was, not helping the cause.
Yeah.
But what we believe, and this is what it
Is
sounds like, becomes our reality.
Yes, very true. Very true. And now going back to the clarity catalyst, you did ask me a little bit about it.
Sure.
So there is this persona in our mind that keeps on talking and makes up stories and just takes us down a rabbit hole if we allow it.
Yeah.
And what the clarity catalyst does is it makes us aware. It teaches us to be aware of that voice. That it's really not us. It's just a voice in our head. It's like it's our best friend, but it's also the enemy of us. And that voice starts when we were little kids, and it grows and it grows. And when we're kids, it kind of protects us. But as we are growing, it starts to sabotages us. I know there's a movie on Disney. I forgot what it's called. It's about all these personas in someone's head. It's a cartoon. It's the best example of what goes on in our mind. Now, if you notice, and Clarity Catalyst is all about, mindfulness is really all about awareness. It's being aware of who you are, how you're feeling, and just to bring yourself back to the moment and stop and think and make those decisions.
Where do you think that voice is coming from? Is that our subconscious? Is that voice within our mind ultimately there to really protect us?
It really depends. This voice, it comes out when we are little kids. When if we go back and someone says to us, oh, I don't like your dress. Let's say I'm a little kid and someone says, I don't like your dress. Now I'm getting so very worried. Like, okay, I'm not gonna wear this dress anymore because they don't like it, or my voice is not nice. So these thoughts start to develop in our mind, and they become as a protected, like we are protecting ourselves at first, but then as we grow older and we start start to change and things start to get harder and we become more aware of like self-conscious. And then this is where it gets to be more of self-sabotaging and like, no, I'm afraid this will happen. And no, let's not go to I'm trying to come up with examples. It's very hard for me to come up with these examples on the spot, but that's how it grows. And then it becomes, and then we have like the scared persona, the procrastinating, and sometimes we allow fear to drive the car of our life.
Well, I guess it's there to protect us. That's what fear is. And more times than not, the fear is unfounded. We worry about these things, and they do research on this that I think it's 91%, and it always comes back about 90 something percent of the things that we worry about.
They're not real. No,
they never happen.
Exactly.
Never
exactly.
materializes. We're
exactly.
literally wasting our time and energy focusing on this one thing.
Yeah.
What do you hear from people nowadays in terms of what they're dealing with? Is a lot of people feel that they don't have a definitive purpose in life. They're looking for a change, a job change. What's kind of the underlying theme?
No one has an answer. Nobody. We don't. Life is all about the choices we make. We try them. And if it doesn't work, then we can change. We can always change. It's like, that sketch,
Etch a sketch.
Board, that etch a sketch. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You make something and you can shake it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's always a way.
Well, that's a really great point, that everything we do in life is a choice.
Yeah.
What you choose to do in 5 seconds from now, 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 years, ultimately you have a choice. Yes, there's stuff going on around us.
Yes.
That's mostly out of our control. And we didn't ask for it potentially, but you have a choice of how you react to it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You can wallow in that and become the victim and then not move your life forward, or make the choice to deal
with it. Yes. I read this book. Of course, I forgot the name of it. And this man was in one of the concentration camps. And he said the how is, if you have the why, then the how it will be achieved.
Yeah. Yep. And isn't that one of the main principles of manifestation?
Yes.
Where what we were saying before, what you think becomes your reality.
Becomes your reality. Yes.
So many of us get tripped up in, let's say you want a sports car. You always wanted that, that one sports car. And you think, well, how am I going to, I don't have enough money for that. How am I going to make that? Just forget about that. Just, I'm getting that. That's what's going to happen. And let the rest kind of fall into place.
And the best thing to say, I have the car.
Yeah.
I have the car every day. I have that car.
Yeah. It's mine. Yeah.
It's mine. Yes. I got it.
It may have not shown up in my driveway just yet.
Yeah. But I do have it.
Listen, there's people I know that have done just that. Yeah. I met somebody and she's sort of a life coach and totally legit. And she wanted a high-end Tesla. And she didn't know how she was going to afford it. Didn't know how it was going to happen. 6 months later, she had that car, paid for it in cash, at least 50 grand cash. It all just because she believed, and it showed up. So it is, the power of the mind. When somebody works with you, how does that process work, Ghada?
So if they need life coaching, we talk about exactly what they need and where they're stuck, and then we develop plans to work on weekly. So small changes, nothing big, nothing major, because you don't want your critical brain to freak out, basically. because it does when you have big changes. Or sometimes we want something and we go at it full speed, and then we just stop. So we work on small changes every week that would lead to habit, that this is what we do. It becomes a habit in life, because the way we eat is a habit, the way we dress is a habit, the way everything we do is really truly a habit. And if you want to change that, you've got to do it very slowly. It's like going up the steps, one step at a time. Don't jump up. That's how.
We're so programmed in, I call it the Amazon world, where you click a button and it shows up at your doorstep in many areas, in 4 hours. So we want that immediate gratification. But I believe that many of us don't look back. Look back 6 months and what has changed in your life. And when you start seeing those incremental changes, like, wow, a lot went on in the last 6 months. I didn't even realize that when you start viewing it in that way. What pilots you? Are there any quotes, mentors, things of inspiration that are part of your values?
I look back at my mom. She's like my biggest inspiration. My mom passed away. I was 12 years old. I don't remember much of her, but what I remember, so I come from a very just typical family in Lebanon. I was born in Lebanon. I wasn't born in this country. I came here at 16. My parents only provided us with the necessities. So we were not rich. We weren't even middle class. But I still remember my mom. Like, it's engraved in my heart and in my mind, of her giving food to everyone that knocked on our door. Although we didn't have, but she still gave it.
Wow.
That is my inspiration in life. And that's why I am. It's part of why I am the way I am. I do. This is like the little things that I remember of her. I don't remember much, but that's what I remember.
Do you feel that in some way she's still around you?
Yes. I don't just feel it. I know. In life you go through experiences.
Yep.
And it just confirms what you feel. And that's why I say my faith is my rock in life. That's my rock. It's because every time I pushed for things to happen, and believe me, I'm a very strong person. I'm hard-headed. If I want to do something, like, I'm going to do it. It never worked. But when I took a step back and I prayed and I'm like, okay, I'm going to let it go. And I'm just going to trust. It happened.
Yep.
It just, so go ahead.
It's not easy to do that.
No, that's the hardest thing to do. Oh my gosh, that is so difficult.
It's like that country song that came out like 10 or 15 years ago. Jesus, take the wheel. And I'm not talking about religion here. It's just like, whoever, take the wheel and drive. I'm going to just lean back and you, whoever you are, universe, whatever, drive that vehicle. But once you surrender it, and then you start seeing that, that worked itself out. I was worried about that. That kind of worked itself out. And even the reason I asked about your mom, mine passed 5 years ago, and my dad passed when I was 21.
Okay.
And her presence is always around. And I ask her for signs, and I've said this before, they are very specific, extremely specific, whereby there's no doubt in my mind that she's sending things, reassurance, working behind the scenes, whatever it may be. And people, if you don't believe that, that's your choice.
That's
but
so true.
I've got the proof. I've got the proof on the wall. I won't even get into the details, but I believe if you ask, you're going to receive. And whatever it is, whether you're asking for that vehicle or believing it's going to be there, asking for a sign from a loved one, whatever it might be. I don't think we ask. I don't think I think we're afraid.
Because we fear that if we ask and we don't get it, then it could be not true, like, or we did something wrong, or what it is. And honestly, a lot of times we don't get things because I believe it's not the right, either it's not the right time for us, or
Yep.
it's not the right thing for us.
Yep.
And I also believe that, yes, we do have faith. Yes, we try to trust, but we also have to work at what we have and what we've given. We can't just sit back and say, well, I trust God is going to, no. You need to work at it also.
That's a great point. Many of us don't ask for fear of failure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because all
we
of us
want
have
it.
that.
Exactly. Like,
yeah.
I'm thinking, well, I prayed, I'm asking, why am I not getting it?
Right.
But then 2 years later, I look back and I say, good, I didn't get it. It's just at that moment, we don't see it.
Right.
It just,
And to your point, we don't know what's best for us.
No.
The universe knows it's already, some believe it's already been predetermined of what's going to happen in your life. We're just about out of time. Love talking with you. Yeah, that was quick.
This was good.
If somebody has some questions and they're looking for some change, maybe some answers, some clarity, how do they find you?
Email Ghada@savoryourseasons.com, SAVOR your seasons with an S.com. And they can visit my website, savoryourseasons.com. And also check out the retreat that I am organizing in Greece next year. It's going to be awesome.
I just saw that on your website.
Thank you.
Wow, what a, part vacation, part coaching,
part
good time.
I travel once a year by myself solo. This is my thing for myself that I've committed to. It's the best thing. And since I love to travel, like, I love to do retreats.
That is my bucket list. And that's the one thing I've never done, traveled alone. Yeah, I got on a plane, went somewhere, met up with somebody, whatever it might be. I'm going to manifest in the next 4 months. That's what I'm doing. I'm just going somewhere. I'm excited to do it. I've never been before.
It's the best thing. Okay. I mean, I wish we have time. I could tell you how I started, but truly at least one time every person have to travel by themselves. It's the best thing you do.
Next time we get together, I'm going to ask you that. I want to hear your story. I really do.
My God. Thank you. I'm excited. It's such a joyful thing.
SavorYourSeasons.com. The season is now to make a change in your life. Go there, start a conversation. No charge for a consult, just to see if it's the right fit or anything.
No charge. Nope.
Yeah. Wonderful talking with you today. Really was.
Thank you. Same here.
Thanks for being here. We'll catch up next time. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.